In the world, I keep my head up high. If you don't know me, still I'll look you in the eye. I see you, I see you. I know our hearts can beat, and seeing has a knowing. Looks like love for you and me. My confidence is in the spirit. You know I feel it. I see stars in your eyes. I have the sense. I see the evidence. That spirit will show me true. It gets me through. My God, my confidence. Oh, my confidence is in you. I hear the voice in ways that I understand. Even in confusion, when my feet on shifting sands, I hear you when I quiet my racing mind. Be still, listen close, that is where you'll find my confidence is in the spirit. Can you feel it? It's in the air that I breathe. I have the sense. I see the evidence that the spirit will show me through. It gets me through. My God, my confidence. Oh, my confidence is in you. What will I decide? How to choose my way? A thousand things that come at me, seems just like that every day. I'm praying, have my mind out, I believe. The moment comes, it comes now, and now is all I need. My confidence is in the spirit. Oh, how I feel it. There's a purpose when I move. I have that sense. There are no accidents. Oh, the spirit will show me truth. Get me through. My God, my confidence. Oh, my confidence is in you. Oh, 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 oh. I invite you to still yourself as we move into a consciousness of meditation. Relaxing yourself by just dropping your shoulders, closing your eyes if you feel so. Freeing your hands of anything that you may be holding. And be mindful of your breathing. As you breathe in, be aware that you are breathing in the breath or the life of God. With every exhale, recognize that as a time of release. That this activity of inhaling and exhaling is the complete divine cycle. Now, as we move our attention from our daily activities, as we withdraw our thoughts from the temperature or our shopping list or the laundry, let's begin to recognize that there is a peace that is within us. There is a calmness that is within us. There is a place in us where we know that God is all there is, that there is absolutely nothing else. And I rest in that awareness. This is my time to tap the resources that are already within me. This is my time to bring forth that which already is in me. As we revisit today's daily word, it is my intention to act with love and kindness. This is what my goal is for today. This is what I plan to do, is to always act with love and intention. As I start the day, I started knowing that I'm going to be loving. I start today knowing that I am going to be kind. That's what I set out to do. And when I start my day with that intention, I stay that course. Even when folks drive crazy, and I know they do. Because I started out today saying, I'm going to be kind. And I'm going to continue to do that, regardless what I encounter. And I can do it because I begin with God.
I begin with a time of prayer. I begin knowing that I am a unique, individualized expression of God. Now, does that mean that I don't get shaken during the day? Does that mean that I don't get tried during the day? No. What it means is that even when those things happen, I can remember that I set the intention to be kind. I can remember that I set the intention to be loving. I can remember that the peace that I want in my experiences begin with me. The peace that I look for, the peace that I want to experience, has to come from within me. And as I radiate that peace wherever I go, I am always calm. Because I radiate that peace wherever I may be. I know that what I'm doing has its root in spirit. I know that whatever I'm doing is going to bring the desired result. I have this assurance within myself that when I am kind, that is what I experience. I am assured that when I am loving, that's what I experience. So now as we bring our focus back to this moment and this time, we can carry the gifts of spiritual living with us always. We now have a blessing that we can share with the world. We have something that we can share with everyone we come in contact with. And it is in that consciousness that we can move forward, knowing that all is well. And we declare this to be so in the name and through the power that is in the name, the very nature of our master teacher, our elder brother, and our racial Jesus Christ. Amen, and so it is. Okay, everybody. I'm excited about this message today. The reason I wanted to bring this particular series to you today, and that is sailing the 7 seas. Sailing the 7 seas. Because I was a Navy guy and I got a chance to do some sailing all around the world, this is real important to me. it shows what each of us has to do and what each of us can do. There are some seeds that I want us all to sell. One of the things that makes selling these seeds easier is when you have the tools to navigate your seeds. Now, for this series, the seeds are not bodies of water. The seeds are literally letter C's. I want you to think about something that you want to achieve or something you want to accomplish. Sometimes I get ridiculed for doing this because a lot of people say, well, you're only talking about success on your job and in your career. When you talk about success, you only talk about money. Like, no, that's not what I only talk about. Does success include money? Yes. Does success include a good career? Yes. But for some people, your goal, the success that you may be trying to achieve is peace of mind. For some people, success is to have an uneventful day at work. Because I drive a school bus, and you know what the weather is, what the streets are like when it's snow out there. So success for me is to get all 83 of those kids back home and not have an accident. For some people, the goal is just to make it through the day. Okay, don't record this. And not cuss nobody out. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. What is your goal? What is it that you want to achieve? And I'm here to give you the tools that it takes to achieve whatever your goal is. The first C that we have to navigate or that we sell if we want to be successful is you must make a definite choice. Say choice. Do you know that good health is a choice? You can make the choice to be healthy. If you want to succeed in something, not only do you need to make a choice, but you must have clarity. That is the second C that we talked about. The reason that sometimes we do not reach our goal is because we are not clear on what that goal is. So we have to be clear if we are going to succeed. The third C that we must navigate if we are going to be successful is you must make a commitment. This is why I like to do this at the beginning of the year, is talk about commitment. Because I don't know if y'all see them, but I watch television and I always see the Jenny Craig and the Planet Fitness commercials where they tell you, people make the commitment, I'm going to work out more. But then by March, here comes the belly. But did you make a commitment? The working definition that we used for commitment was staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in is gone. If you're going to be successful at whatever your goal is, there must be a commitment. The fourth C that must be navigated if you are going to succeed in whatever your goal is that you must have a determination to overcome your constraints. You must overcome your constraints. In other words, it's looking at what's holding you back. What is stopping you from experiencing the good life? What is stopping you from experiencing a successful career? What is stopping you from being that peaceful person? Now, Folks don't like it when I say this, but it's the truth, and I'm going to say it anyway. The biggest thing that's stopping you from being the peaceful person, or the biggest barrier that you have to overcome, is you. The biggest constraint is you. Your own fears, your own insecurities, your own low self-esteem, which brings us to the sea we are going to navigate today, and that is the sea of confidence. Now, when we're talking about confidence, our working definition for today is a feeling or belief that you can do something well or succeed at it. The belief that you can do something well or succeed. The belief that you can do it. Oh, y'all remember the story. I don't think I'm the only one that heard the story. The little engine that could. That little engine, when it started, that little train, when it started going up the hill, it said to itself over and over again, I think I can. 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 And it got over the hill. But there are some of us, when it comes to sailing the sea of confidence, begin to have this idea that maybe I can. Now, I want to share a few things with you about confidence and then show you scripturally how someone was able to show their confidence. One of the things that I want you to know and look at when we're dealing with confidence is that confidence is determined by how you perceive yourself. This is crucial. How do you see you? Now, there's a lot of times that we don't see ourselves the way we are is because we see ourselves through the lens of social media. We think that our profile is who we really are. We think that we are somebody if our post goes viral. Oops. Yeah, I won't do it. That if nobody likes my profile, then I must not be, somebody, or I might not be worthy. Ooh. How do you see yourself? Sometimes, and I notice this a lot in family dynamics, depending on what career you decide to go into, if it's not in alignment with what Uncle so-and-so says you ought to do, then sometimes a person may feel less than because they did not become a doctor. Anybody in here like Star Trek? Starfleet Academy. I'm loving that show, Starfleet Academy. It's fabulous. The woman who plays the character of the Jim Hagar and the Klingon, Jasmine Yasher, I believe is her name. She's a fabulous comedian. She tells the story of how her Nigerian mother had 3 occupations that all of her children were supposed to go into. And when she came back and told her mother that she wanted to be a comedian, the mother said, no, you can't be a comedian. You have to be doctor, engineer, teacher. Those are what you can do. Those are the only 3 things. And when she said, but no, Mom, I want to be a comedian. Mom said, no, you want to be a clown with a nose, big shoes? And she began to feel less than because she did not live up to what her mother wanted for her. In order to have confidence, we must secondly shatter your negative self-portrait. Now, I don't know why some people, or everybody, comes up with it. But there are a few reasons that some people have these negative self-portraits of themselves. But this message today is based on you getting over whatever your negative self-portrait is. Why is it that you feel less than? There are some people who, I've had a lot of people, feel that they are less than because their lifestyle is different from a norm. Because they are a same gender loving person, we get shunned on because it's not the norm. So because of our lifestyle, our sexual orientation, we get shunned on or don't feel worthy. That, the occupation. Another reason that a lot of people have poor self-images and self-portraits is because they have not succeeded yet. They haven't gotten what they think they're supposed to have, or they haven't gotten what they don't have the body that Victoria's Secret says I'm supposed to have in order to be attractive. Forget that. Secret. I'm going to tell y'all a true story. Victoria's Secret. You know what the secret is? There's no Victoria. It was all Victor. But you see, right. Yeah, I'm telling you. It was Victor who created all of that. And if a woman's body does not fit that image, some women feel bad because they've got curves, they've got bumps here, they've got this, that. No, don't fall into that. This is about you shattering the negative self-portrait that you have of yourself. And the reason or the way that you can know whether the portrait is negative is, does it serve you? Does it bring out your best qualities? Another thing that we have to do in order to develop the confidence is to have confidence in the God within you. I love this particular scripture. To have confidence in the God within you. I love the way God had the conversation with Jeremiah in the 1st chapter and the 5th verse. God spoke to Jeremiah and said this: before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you. And God is saying the same thing to us. That before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. This has been said other ways. Can you hear God saying it this way? Before you were a twinkle in your daddy's eye, I knew you. My question to you today is, who or what is the you that God knew before you were born, before you were created? What did God know about you? But you see, we have picked up this self-portrait of what other people have said about us. This lesson is to show you and to teach you what God has to say about you. God said to you in the beginning, in the book of Genesis, God said, let's create man in our image and after our likeness. You, I, all of us were created in the image and likeness of God. And what is God? Good. I like to say it this way. When God created you, he basically took a selfie. And said, there you are. So we are made in the image and likeness of God, which is absolute good, But because we begin to look outward instead of inward, we have all of these other man-made ideas as to what we're supposed to be. If we are going to navigate the sea of confidence, we must be willing to commit to a spiritual idea. Commit to a spiritual idea. Difficulty sets in when we try to follow human standards. Difficulty sets in when we try to follow what people want for us, what they think we should do, what their opinion of me is. But I want y'all to know very, very early on that what other people think about me ain't none of my business. I don't care. I've gotten to that point. Was it easy? No. But I've had to get to the point where I learned that what they think about me, their opinion of me is just that. Their opinion. But what do I think about myself, and how does God think about me? Now, I want to show you one of my favorite stories in the Bible, and it's found in First Samuel, the 17th chapter. I love this story because everybody knows of this story as David and Goliath. But I like to tell the story about David and the princess, because nobody knows about the princess. I'm going to share a little bit of that story with you today. So we know that David went before Saul and said he was going to fight Goliath. You have the two armies there, and I wish this was a practice that countries would take up today. You got the two armies, and they said instead of everybody going out and fight, we're going to send one person. We're going to send our champion out, and y'all send the champion, and let the two of them fight it out. And once the two of them fight it out, whoever the victor is, that's the side that wins. But when Goliath, their champion, got to the field, because of his sight, because of his past, because of his record as a warrior, nobody wanted to fight him. But then here comes David. And he says, I will fight Goliath. In 1 Samuel 17 in the 32nd chapter, David said unto Saul, let no one's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight this Philistine. Don't get upset about it. Don't y'all worry. I got this. I'm going to go get Goliath. See, having confidence makes all the difference in the world when what you're trying to accomplish. When you are confident, you feel like you can be bold, that you can accomplish anything. When you lack confidence, you're afraid even to try. But I want you to understand, David was not a warrior. He had no formal military training, no formal background. But he was not afraid to try. When I say this is the story of David and the princess, what was it that made David want to even go up against Goliath? Why would he even say something like that? He wasn't big. He wasn't brave. He wasn't militarily trained. What was it? He had his eye on something. David was about 15 when this story is taking place. He was sent to the battlefield by his daddy to take his brother something to eat. And while he was out on the battlefield taking his brothers something to eat, he overheard a conversation. And the conversation he overheard was what the king said would be the reward for the person who killed Goliath. The king said, because nobody would go out and face Goliath, the king said, this is what I'm going to do. Whoever will kill Goliath will be rich. Number two, he won't have to pay taxes. And third, he'll marry my daughter. David said, what? I get the woman. I get rich. And no taxes. In his mind, he's thinking, why is this guy still breathing? Have you seen the princess? This is why the whole thing around this lesson series. What is your princess? What is your motivating factor? What is your goal? When you get that goal, that princess, if the goal is not having to pay taxes, being rich, and 16-year-old boy to say, I get the woman, he mustered up the courage. He went before Saul and said, don't worry about this. They ain't going. I got it. But Saul looked at him and said, you just a little boy. You've had no combat training at all. This guy has grown up fighting. He's only known battle. He's only known combat. Do you see how big this guy is? This is what happens to a lot of us when we go after a goal. Somebody outside of us is going to try to convince you why you shouldn't do it. They're going to tell you, you can't do this because you're a woman. You can't do this because you're too old. You can't do this because you're black. You can't do this because you're gay. You can't do this because whatever. In instances like that is where I want you to remember the scripture that I taught you earlier from Jeremiah, when God said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. I consecrated you. We're saying whatever their opinion of you is, that's just it. Their opinion. That's why I wanted to show you this is what David did. Now, when David was telling Saul that I'm going to go, and Saul tried to convince him otherwise, here is the real meat of this story. David had a very compelling argument that he presented to Saul, and this showed why he was so confident. David got a little cocky, I think, because he said, I don't care about Goliath. All I know is that as a shepherd boy, my job, my responsibility was to keep the sheep. And while I was keeping the sheep, a bear came trying to get one of these sheep. And I fought off that bear. Another time while I was keeping my daddy's sheep, a lion came and tried to take one of the sheep. And I fought off that lion. You see, being a shepherd was not a idealistic occupation. The idealistic occupation was to be in the army, was to fight. That's why David was excited to get out on the battlefield. When his daddy told him, said, look, your brothers have been out there. I need you to take them some food. He was like, ooh, great, yeah, I get to go out there. It was like I was when I got the car for the first time. When I got my license, I got to drive around. I was told to go to the store and come right back. Did I go to the store? Yes. Did I come right back? Yeah, but I took the long way. Just so people could see me, driving. I got my daddy's car. Yeah, I'm the man. I got this. That was David. He was a 15-year-old boy. But he was commissioned to the lowest job, and that was tending the sheep. But he told Saul, when I was keeping the sheep, a bear came, and I fought off that bear. When I was keeping the sheep, a lion came, and I was able to fight off that lion. And just like I did that, I can do this. Which leads to why some people do not have confidence in themselves. David was able to say, I did that, so I can do this. Sometimes, I'm going to use prosperity as an example, because I like to give examples that you are familiar with. I'm stepping on toes. I know I am, God. I know I got money. There's a reason some people don't hit the lottery. And it's not because they didn't play. And it's not because they're not lucky. Some people don't hit the lottery. Some people don't have money. They don't have $25 million is because they are not responsible at spending 25. Some people, one of my teachers and mentors said this, the reason some people's heart condition doesn't get better is because they haven't learned to love with the heart they got. Sometimes the reason we do not have the greater things is because we have not learned how to use responsibly the lesser things. There are some people who pray only when they back gets up against the wall. Only when they get in trouble. And they got to pray harder to try to get out of the situation. But I want you to look at prayer the same way we look at a muscle. Right now, and I have no problem telling y'all this, I would not try to get out and run a marathon. That ain't me. I ain't doing it. Because before you run a marathon, you got to stretch and do all of that. You see, prayer is a muscle that we have to exercise. Confidence is a muscle that has to be exercised. David had done it for the little things. Now, when something big came, he was prepared. You see, it's easy to be confident once you've done the work. That's what confidence requires, is that we do all of the work from before. Now, there are some things that I want to give you as a takeaway. I want you to always have some action steps in order to sail this sea of confidence successfully, in order to navigate. Here are your takeaways. Write this down, because I see you got your coffee. I like that, but write this down. There are 5 things that I want to give you. Yeah, I'm talking to, her, the woman. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Yeah. I want you to write this down. There are 5 things in order to sail this sea of confidence. Some practical things. Number 1, learn how to be an optimist. There are some times that we can see the negative in everything. We can always see what's wrong with the world. We can always see what's wrong with the co-worker. We can tell you everything that the boss did that wasn't right last year. But can you find the good? Some people look at a donut and see something sweet to eat. Do you know there are people who look at a donut and see a hole? That there's a problem. Learn how to find the good. See the good in it. Now, sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, you may have to look harder to love some people. I didn't mean to talk about myself, but sometimes you got to look real hard to love some people. But begin to look for the good in things. Secondly, in order to be successful, in order to have confidence, I want you to face your fears. Be able to face your fears. Now, I'm not talking about roller coasters. I'm not talking about roller coaster. I'm talking about the fear that I want you to face is the fear of success. There are some people who are so afraid of succeeding. There are some people who are so afraid of being healthy. People are afraid of being healthy? Yeah, because if they're healthy and they talk with their friends, they don't have anything to add to the conversation. Because every time, I see it all the time, every time folks get together, they begin to talk about, well, I had heart surgery. Well, child, that's nothing. I had triple heart bypass. People want to try to outdo what their problem was. Well, I had surgery and they had to do this. Well, you know what? Well, I had surgery and I had to have it done twice. I mean, people will try to outdo each other with their diagnosis. Face your fears. There are some people who have the fears of being alone. I've learned being alone is the best time that I could ever have. And think about this. If you don't want to be alone with you, what makes you think somebody else want to be with you? I didn't mean to go there. But face your fear and take action. Learn what you need to do to move forward. Surround yourself with positive people. If you are going to be successful, surround yourself with positive people. I heard Reverend Ike say that if you hang out with 9 broke people, guess who's going to be number 10? Surround yourself with people doing the things that you want to do. When you learn what it is that you want to do, here's the big one. Get a mentor. Find somebody who's done it and say, you know what, I want to learn from you. Another thing I learned is that whatever it is, you want to be rich, watch the poor folks. Learn what they do. And don't do it. Make sense? Find somebody doing what it is that you want to do. Sit under their tutelage. This is why spiritual classes are so vitally important. That you got to be in a class. Folks tell me all the time, well, Reverend Brian, I took Lessons in Truth back in 2001. I don't care. Because the you that you are now has not had Lessons in Truth. Lessons in Truth is something that we all got to study every year. When you learn what it is that you do and what you do well, fifth thing I want you to do is be a mentor. Now, this is what our fifth basic principle is. Now, somebody tell me, not Karen, because I know she knows. What is our fifth basic unity principles? And Paul, don't you say it because you read it every Sunday. Thank you. That's it. Ding, ding, ding. I got to give you a cookie. The fifth basic principle is this. It's not just enough to know this stuff. You've got to live it. And that's what being a mentor is. Can you show? What do you have to show for your work? Can you back it up? And the one thing that we always do at the end of every message, and I want to always maintain some consistency, is this is your opportunity to use the truth that you know. This is your opportunity to put your money where your mouth is, literally. To take your love offerings, your tithes, your supporting gifts, however you have come prepared to give, or however you have been directed to give. Because I know somebody was watching today said, well, I'm only going to give $5, but ooh, he preached $10 out of me. And I want you to take your money substance, and I want you to bless it this way. And I want you to always bless your money before you buy gas. Before you buy gas. Because I'm going to tell you, I drive up here all the time. You know, I gassed up last night, and believe it or not, I got up here on less than a quarter of a tank of gas. I blessed my money before I put gas in the car. And from Flint. I come up from Flint the first and third Sunday of every month. And I was able to give you on less than a quarter tank of gas, which means I'm going to get back. And I'm still going to have 3/4 of a tank of gas when I get back. That don't always happen. And the reason it don't always happen is because, oh, did I just tell on myself? I think I did. But I digress. This is how we bless our money. Bless your money when you're at Kroger's. When you're buying groceries. And see if the food don't stretch just a little bit longer. Want to say, divine love as me. Come on now. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Come on. I give joyfully and easily. For God is my source and abundance is my nature. I'm done for the day. We still got 2 more C's to go. We got through 5 of them. Quick quiz. What's first C? Choice. Clarity. Commitment. Constraints. Overcoming your constraints. And today is confidence. We got 2 more. I'm not telling you what they are. I'm done for today, y'all.